And hopefully we are back. I apologize about the technical difficulties. This stuff never seems to like me, no matter what I do. So if you're happen to catching in on this, this is the monthly RPG crate game. You can see all of the stuff that happened in that first 25 minutes over on that other video. Again, I apologize. We are down in a ancient temple, underground, underwater. All the characters have bubbles around their heads so that they've got the ability to breathe, and the dwarven quote-unquote sorcerer has rope tied around him and attached himself to the mighty dragonborn.
Because I don't know how to swim.
Because he doesn't know how to swim. So with that, you guys are in a tile-floored room. There's a statue of a girl with long hair holding up a conch shell to her lips, and Dante decided, you know what? That's a good idea if I just go up there and take that conch shell down. And he did. So you can write that conch shell down upon your inventory, and I can let you know what that is later.
Okay, because I was sitting here debating blowing it, but if there's a way out of this room without doing so, I would, I'll maybe try that later.
All right. So if you're standing in the room, you actually have 6 different exits. Essentially, the way you came in and had to do a zigzag to get into the room, and the opposite side directly across also has a zigzag, off as well. But from each of the 4 cardinal directions, there is also 4 other exits.
Whichever way's left.
Well, depends upon how you're facing. Would really make a difference, because like the first thing you saw was the statue. So if you came in and look at it from that direction, well then you'd be going essentially north of based on what's on my map. But if you took it down and turned back to your party, then left would actually be south.
Maybe we should play spin the conch shell and see which way it points us to go.
That gives me an idea. Bulgath, point your hand straight up in the air. And then I'm going to lift him into the air in the water. And
oh,
no.
This is very demeaning.
You consented when you raised your hand.
Can I roll a D8 or something to figure out which way we were going?
D6.
D6? I thought you said there was 8 exits. So.
No, 6.
4.
So that's going to be south.
All right.
So
decision mechanism called spin the Bulgath.
What happens if I throw up in the bubble?
I don't think we want to know what happens.
So as you begin, coming down the small, tunnel pathway, call it what you will, you're immediately met with, being at a 4-way intersection after going only 10 feet. The tiles, the scenery that you were seeing in the previous room is also in here, and the auditory illusion of ocean waves crashes throughout this area. You see that it splits into 3 different ways, and with just a little bit of a investigation, you realize that these 3 rooms, or these 3 directions, wind up making the image of the fork of a trident. Each triangular room contains paintings that depict a battle at sea, with the middle tine displaying a great struggle against a gigantic sea kraken. The illusory sounds are loudest in the middle tine, and the sound of waves is joined by the sound of cracking wood and the clashes of metal. So it does not look like this way actually leads you anywhere.
Alright, so I say we head back and then take the exit to the left of the one that we just took, and then we can go around in a circle that way and not back there.
That makes sense to me.
So left from where you started, or left from where you are now?
Left from where we are now, skipping the exit where we came in.
So the paintings again that were on the wall continue down the hallway, and it leads into a bowl-shaped room. But the colors shift, taking a more red and orange hues. There are shelves along the north and south walls, holding small statues of various types of fish. All appear to be crafted to appear to be leaping from their watery bases. In the center of the room stands a large fish statue, and its mouth hangs a small bowl. In its mouth hangs a small bowl carved from sea coral, suspended upon a silver chain. But as you begin looking at this silver chain, you see three fishmen who seem to be staring at this charm on the necklace. They're not touching it, but they're staring straight at it. You got a moment to react before they do. What do you do?
Hail, friends. Would you care to answer some questions that we have?
What language are you speaking?
Common, because that's the language that I know other than Draconic.
So the three fish creatures, stop, turn to you. They do not have water bubbles around, or air bubbles around their head. What is each of your demeanors at this point in time?
I think after hearing her try for a peaceful solution and shaking my head but going with it, in deep speech, because I assume since we're underwater, it's got to be deep, I'm going to say, we have no quarrel with you. We seek only information.
I'm just standing there with my arm.
If they answer back, I'm going to hide behind Parthas, because I wasn't expecting it to actually work.
Alright, so what...
My hands down at my sides, I look very non-threatening. Dante generally looks very non-threatening. He's kind of a pretty boy.
What about Parthas and Bolgath? How what do you look at as far as a demeanor?
I don't know if I can look anything but pissed off as a Dragonborn. I mean,
I don't know. I've seen some minis that have some pretty jovial looking Dragonborn, but that doesn't mean Parthas has to.
Sword does not smile.
And if he does, it's even scarier than his scowl.
Oh yeah, if he does, it's like all teeth. Yeah, I mean, hand on my sword, but I haven't drawn it yet.
Okay. And Bolgath?
I have just what I said. I mean, I'm on my toes, ready to either jump behind him or.
All right. So, they stop, they turn around, and they look at the four of you, five of you technically. They look back and forth and.
I lean over to Bolgath. Did you get any of that?
Nope. It sounded like to me.
Oh, good God. What did you just say to them?
I said your mother looks like a goat.
What's a goat?
I don't know. Well, I mean, they won't, but...
Dante, you...
So we, and I gesture to the group, swim down here to talk to you.
So after a moment, another one of these things comes from, you're not certain where, because you didn't really see any other doorways or entrances, but another one just winds up appearing. They look to it. Doesn't really see much difference in the the demeanor or attire or whatever, but they bubble or blurble at each other, and the new arrival winds up speaking and saying, "What are you doing here?"
Oh, good, you speak common. Okay, so there have been some incidents up on the shore. People being born with strange defects. People turning up with odd things happening, magical. We heard there was something going on down here. First of all, if this is something that you're doing, maybe we can negotiate with you to stop. Second of all, maybe you're having some kind of problem that we could help you with to get this to stop. Have you been having any strange birth defects down here at all?
Well, from what we have seen, all it is doing is turning you land dwellers into aquatic creatures so that you can come and harass us. I don't see why that would be considered a bad thing. And, I mean, harassing us isn't a good part, but why would you not want to live under the water?
Well, certainly you don't want to be harassed, and actually this wasn't part of that. This was something that we got from a local wizard, but that's kind of tangential to the point. Do you know what's causing it? Because they really would like it for it to stop. They're actually land-dwelling creatures and kind of attached to that concept.
Well, if
It seems that one person's adaptation is another person's curse.
well, I could
That
give.
I'm no longer invisible.
I was gonna say, look, our mark is invisible.
Nothing against your underwater community down here, of course. It is very lovely, beautiful colors. Nice, very nice place. I personally don't have a single problem with it. It's just not where a lot of people would prefer to live. You understand?
Well, if I give you information, how am I to guarantee that it will not be turned against me? Are you mighty?
Bulgath is pretty mighty.
Well, all I can really offer you is my word and a little bit of honesty because I didn't realize anybody lived in here, and I'm going to hold out the conch. I picked this up thinking it was going to help us get into another room, because that's generally the way of dungeons, and I'm telling you this up front because, well, honesty is the best policy, and I hold out the conch to him. Like, we can just put it back where it was, or I could just give it to you.
It's a shell. What would I do with it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it's for. I thought it was going to open a door, like I said.
It has been in the statue for quite some time. Doesn't belong to anyone. If you think it's pretty and wish to have it, then by all means, kind of.
Oh, that is very much appreciated. Thank you quite kindly. That said, but yes, we can offer our word. And I know that doesn't mean anything because you don't know us, but that does mean quite a bit to me.
I'm still uncertain. Kind of like, this is a fish creature. They have eyes, eyes much larger than yours, but they're on either side of their head, so they kind of have to turn to actually look at you, to take you in.
How about this?
Demonstrate power. Show me that you might be able to end what you seek. And if I think it is competent enough, then I will reveal information. But if I don't, then you will go, and we did not have this conversation.
All right. So do we each get a chance to show you what we're capable of?
You talk amongst you land dwellers and come up with how you're going to do this, and then we'll make a decision.
thank you so much for the opportunity. And I give a little bow and head back to Parthas, because Parthas is generally the most impressive one here.
I'm going to, as you're coming back, we all heard this, correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to yell, "This is preposterous. Why would we have to prove ourselves to anything?" And as I do, I'm accidentally casting Prestidigitation, and my eyes are glowing, the ground is rumbling, and my voice is 3 times louder. We have nothing to prove to these people.
I am making made-up gestures to make it look like I'm casting a spell.
Oh, guys, listen, we came into their house. It is reasonable for them to set a task for us.
Oswald, make a deception check.
Okay. Ooh, that is 6.
Oh, that's close.
That's why the gestures are clearly made up and not magical at all.
Like
So
sprinkler dance.
the one who was speaking with Dante looks at Bolgath and kind of takes a step back, looks at Oslin and just kind of shakes his head.
You're embarrassing me in front of the fish people.
Be impressed by me.
You feel a kinship because you both have scales. Sorry.
Is there possibly like a piece of debris that I could firebolt in here, like a rock or something?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do magic missiles. I don't know how well burning hands will work under the water. I've got thunder wave.
Well, right now you are in a room that is only like a 15-foot circle. So any area effect things you might do in here, it's going to hit everything that's in the room.
I'm just gonna firebolt a rock.
Alright, so as opposed to the blast of fire that you would have expected to have happen, the water in a stream from you to your target, you just see, the wave of boiling water, shoot out from your fingertip, and as it hits the rock, it knocks it around and breaks off a couple pieces.
Oh, that was really cool. I actually didn't know how that was going to work. When we're up top, it actually glows and is kind of fiery, but that was much cooler.
Wow. Kind of.
High five, Snow.
So Snow winds up, doing the same thing in tandem, but as opposed to blasting off fire. Do we determine if Snow is a he or a she?
Snow is a he.
Snow is a he. So he opens up his mouth and attacks the same rock with a blast of ice crystals. So you got the whole fire and ice thing working out.
Like finger gunning, but shooting my little rays of light, because I took the monk tradition, the one that gives me like the
Sun
radiant
Soul?
sun bolts. Yeah.
Oh, you're a Sun Soul monk. Wow.
Yep.
So
That's what I went with.
you're the laser monk. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I figured it works really well with being cross-class and a wizard.
It's definitely cool. At first I thought you were talking about, going way of the elements, and I'm like, why would you choose that?
It's terrible, I know. That's what my other monk is. It's so bad.
I played one in a one-shot. I'm like, yeah, I got abilities that aren't as good as what other monks can do. Yay.
And they're all save or suck, and that's so disappointing.
So, after a little bit of conversation, and, you realize that, you're able to convince them that you're holding back, And it does take a little bit of back and forth, and it kind of takes, Parthas puffing himself up a little bit and looming down over these fish creatures before they finally settle on, speaking in very hushed whispers. And, they say that there is a sea witch who has a stone that supposedly is, been sent here by a demon. We don't know all the details, but sometimes, the people of the village don't want their cursed children, and they are thrown into the waters. Other times, the sea witch actually goes up onto the shore and takes the cursed children. Not certain what she does with them, but she definitely has one, and they kind of show that she's actually not all that far away from you guys at the moment.
Those poor unfortunate souls.
I'm gonna look at the rest of you and did we know the villagers were throwing their deformed children into the ocean before we chose to help them?
No, we definitely didn't, but we'll have a word with them about that after we get this taken care of.
I agree. I mean, I know a place these children could go and be taken care of for the rest of their life. It's what I used to do, take in children without homes.
But first, let's take care of the sea witch.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like something we can definitely do.
I feel like Oslin is that character who gets distracted by every video game side quest ever.
Hey, look, an exclamation point!
And Parthas is the one that's just looking for the red dots on the radar.
Right? How quickly can I finish this game?
For Dante, the adventurer is the distraction. He's just trying to get laid.
Well, there are some fish people, and you didn't investigate whether they were male or female.
Well, if I can't tell, I'm not interested. I'm not that deep, man.
Considering your goal is to get laid, you hesitated on blowing the conch in the other room.
I don't know how that would get me laid.
There was a blowing joke in there.
Oh, no, not... Dante is straight.
Sorry.
So, they again go back to whispered tones and tell you, like, literally the room with the statue of the girl where you got that shell, it's that way, and they point off, basically to the left, and that's where they last saw her.
Thank you very much for that, and we'll check back in on our way through, make sure that you know that everything was taken care of just fine. Have a nice day.
So, do you immediately, charge off in that direction? Do you...
Well, that was my plan, unless somebody else has something else in mind.
Is there a distracting side quest?
There's still like 4 other...
Yes,
places to
Oslan,
look
the
this
distracting
way.
side quest, just follow me this way.
Because I feel like Oslin's probably trying to talk with one of the fish people and learn their fish language, if that's an option. While other more serious discussions are happening.
We're underwater. It's really not that hard to drag you away.
I'm already following Dante, which means Bolgath is following.
I think that Oslin would then do this sort of like look around, realize that he's by himself, and I need to go left. That's convenient.
So you head back into the room with the statue, and you look in the direction that they gave you, and you do see that there appears to be a long hallway with stairs leading up. From here, you can see that there's it's not that long of a hallway before it begins to plateau. What is the marching order as you climb up the stairs?
I mean, I'm just swimming up. We're underwater. There's really no reason to actually, like, get my legs tired walking up the steps.
Yeah.
I'm 15 feet behind whatever Parthas does, probably going on each step.
They
All
are
right.
stairs. I am walking them.
I'm sticking close to Bolgath so that I can pretend to cast whatever spell he throws out next.
All right, so it is Dante, Parthas, Bolgath, Oslan.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
determined that I always take up the rear anyway, so...
I'm just making sure that you guys are aware that, the wizard is in the front.
Oh,
Uh,
no,
you're not.
Dante's aware, but he's just like, sea witch causing defects, stealing children. This cannot go reprimanded.
So, as you crest the top of the stairs, a hideous stooped crone with sharpened black fingernails, hair the color of seaweed that floats about her in a twisted halo, and dark eyes devoid of humanity, sits atop a pile of bones in this room.
I'm gonna roll a deception check to
Oh.
see if I can keep how ugly she is off my face.
Alright, a Koatoa warrior holds what at first appears to be a human newborn out to her, but the bluish cast of the creature's pale skin and the gills that keep it alive underwater are clue enough that it is one of the cursed Seafallen. The crone runs a black tongue over her green-tinted lips as she takes the child, snarling at your interruption.
I mean, that's enough for me. I'm rolling initiative.
Alright?
You're not going to eat that, are you?
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
infants are very bad for your complexion, and a woman as lovely as you shouldn't be. Oh God,
They also don't taste good, shark eyes. Let's go. Pew pew. This is actually Oslo being mad right now, by the way. So pissed off he got a 9 initiative.
So I got a 9, I got a 7.
You got another 7 too, it looks like.
Who else has got a 7?
Mike.
Megan can go first.
So Dante. And what do you have, Parthas?
10.
10, leading the...
And that's with a -1.
So the hag kind of sits up, and you can see that she's pretty tall, even if she's gangly. She is pretty hideous, but as she looks and basically just takes a sweeping gaze as the four of you ascend the stairs. I was not going to eat it. It was going to be one of my children.
How is that better?
And become this bone seat you have? That's not gonna happen.
So, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, well, that makes the most sense. So she looks Dante straight in the face, and her eyes bore into yours. I need you
I
to.
really don't want to call you mommy either.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
I say,
good.
Oh no, you don't, and counterspell it.
She is not casting a spell. She's just looking.
Damn it. It's worth a shot.
All right,
That's
so
right,
I have inspiration, right?
Yes, you start, as always, you start off with inspiration. Did you roll a 1?
The first time, but the second time I rolled a 15, so that's gonna be a dirty 20.
Alright, so you feel her gaze come into you, and almost like, when you were in the Arctic and you felt that chill, like, biting in through your flesh, you felt as if, like, her gaze had this sensation that reached in through your eyes and down into your chest, and you got so cold, but you were able to, to shake it off. You're certain that would have not been pleasant had you been unable to resist it.
Ew, no, absolutely not. We're not doing this. I don't want to throw up inside this helmet. Let's go.
Alright, Parthas, you are up, and before you do anything, I need you to make a wisdom save.
Let's see. Wisdom. Okay.
Would that have extended my spell slot?
No, because there was nothing for you to target, so therefore...
A 12.
All right, so you realize that she's quite frightening, but you're powerful. You can take her. You're unaffected by her frightening presence, or technically, horrific visage, if you will. So what are you doing?
Real quick question, because I have a question mark next to this, and we never did sort this out.
Okay.
One of the properties of the headdress, the module had said spiritual armor.
Uh-huh.
And we had a question of whether that was Shield of Faith or Spirit Guardians.
Or Beacon of Hope. Like some weird thing.
We're probably gonna go with Shield of Faith.
Which, that's the one that's a reaction, right?
I believe so.
I think that one just gives you +2 to your armor class.
Well, that one and Shield do... Shield... Oh, no. Shield's the +5. That's the... Shield's the reaction one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not going to worry about that one right now. I will note that, though. Instead, I'm going to rush her.
All right.
Sorry, Bolgath. You're coming along for the ride. Drawing my shiny new longsword, Vengeance. With 2 hands, I'm going to attempt to run her through.
Okay.
With this magical sword. And so that is 17 on the die, which means that's a 24 to hit.
Just barely. No, you hit.
Do you want me to roll the second attack now, too?
Yes, that's fine.
Second attack will be a 23 to hit.
Also does.
So both of those were two-handed. So that's going to be... The first hit is a 9. And the second hit is a 14. So 23 total on 2 attacks. And I believe the longsword does slashing damage.
Yes, sir.
So with disadvantage?
Were you rolling those with disadvantage?
Oh, I wasn't. Was I supposed to?
Yeah, anything but piercing weapons underwater.
Son of a... All right.
Sorry.
Okay, let me grab the right die. So this one, it was a 17. So instead of a 24 to hit, it is now a 22 to hit.
Still hits.
And the second one is now a 11.
11 is going to miss.
Okay, so only 9 points of damage.
All right.
Instead of the 23. As I imagine Bolgath on his tethers bumped into me and knocked my arm askew.
Sorry.
Dante.
You skipped Oslin. He's up before I am.
I have Oslin at a 7.
No, that's Bolga.
I'm at a 9.
Oh, so Oslin and Dante are at a 9.
No, Dante and...
No, Dante's at a 7. Dante and Bolgath are both at 7.
Okay, all right. I got those backwards then. My apologies. So, Oslin, you're up. First thing off,
right.
I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Let's see how this goes. Not too well.
What do you got?
I have got... No, it's a 12.
All right. So that's what Parthos had got as well. So she's scary, but not scary enough to affect your decision-making processes.
I'll kind of hesitantly swim forward. I was already on the process of moving toward her and kind of taking a step back a little bit at the realization of how scary she is with the black shark eyes. But I'll hammer down my resolve, and as I swim toward her, bubbles kind of appear around me as the space between my body and the outside world sort of thickens with magical power, and I'm casting Mage Armor.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Bolgath, Dante, how would you like to resolve your turn order?
Go for it, Dante.
Okay, so I'm just gonna flap my hands and send my magic missiles out. That's at level 2 for 17 damage.
Okay, I will record that. Meanwhile, you take your saving throw, please.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a recurring thing.
It is. You have to say versus her horrific visage.
Yeah, that's gonna be a total of 23.
Yep.
Wisdom is one of the things I'm good at.
She's not all that frightening to you. And last but certainly not least, Bulgath.
Definitely least.
Not least.
No, definitely least. So wisdom saving throw.
Yes, sir.
18.
You are also not affected.
And then I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos so I don't have disadvantage on my Warhammer Strike.
Okay.
And that is a 23 to hit.
You hit without a problem.
9 plus 12 bludgeoning damage.
Alright, she is taken a bit of a beating.
And then I turn around and go, I hit something! See, talking to it's good. Because I threatened it last session.
So she is going to turn and rake a claw at you, Bulgath.
Okay.
That is going to be a 17 to hit.
I shielded.
Alright, you can go ahead and surge on that to reset your Tides of Chaos. So
what is that?
and then she is going to focus her death glare on Parthas. So I need another wisdom saving throw from you, sir.
She's gonna focus her what?
Her death glare.
You had a very unfortunate pause.
Yeah, I heard that too.
She is going to focus her death glare upon you, Parthas.
Okay, I actually feel a little bit better about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
An eye appears on my forehead for the next minute, and I have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. I opened my third eye.
So that's a...
I've never seen that before. I have no idea how to pretend like that was me.
You said that was a wisdom save, right?
Yes, sir.
That's an 11.
All right. So you feel this cold hand reach in and like grab into your chest, and the next thing, all things go dark. You are currently at 0 hit points, sir.
What the? I mean,
Glub, glub, glub.
holy crap!
So I guess we skip Parthas, and we go to Oslin.
That was her gaze thing. It wasn't a physical attack.
Correct.
And it wasn't a spell?
It was not a spell.
Well, that is where Oslin is distracted for a moment by like watching her set her eyes upon Parthas and then seeing Parthas drop. And Oslin is overcome with terror because I rolled a 10.
No, you guys have already passed your saves.
Oh,
so.
don't have to roll every turn?
Nope.
Okay.
It's like your draconic, frightening presence.
Oh, once you succeed it, you don't have to undergo it again. Gotcha.
Yep, you guys are not afraid.
Then never mind.
Although you might be horrified that all she did was look at your dragonborn and he passed out.
I like to imagine that when Partha drops, since we're underwater, that his sword kind of does that slow through the waterfall, and I'm actually just sort of like
Floating.
there.
I'm not like fully down. I'm just sort of maybe like on my knees, kind of in this like half floating thing.
Oslin is going to set his jaw and make sure he stays about 15 feet away, and then just like double punch the air, triple punch, sending bolts of radiant light toward her.
Okay. Because you're using magic, this does not have disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. So it's 22, it's 21, and it's 18.
All hit.
All right. Oh, do I have more d4s? I have 2. There's my third one. Bunk. 3, 6, 9, plus another 9. So 18 points of radiant damage.
Trying to do math. It's not working. Dante, you're up.
Magic missile, level 2, 14 damage.
All right, Bolgath.
Alright, so I'm right up on her, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to step back and provoke an attack of opportunity so that when I cast Chaos Bolt, it doesn't have disadvantage.
All right. A 9 is going to miss you as she rakes at you with claws.
Alright, so a level 3 Chaos Bolt comes shooting out of my Warhammer. And... oh, crap. There was another bad guy here, too, right?
It was a underling. Wasn't, he hasn't really done much but like grovel.
But he's there?
Yeah.
Because my thing split, so...
It could target the baby.
Don't hit the baby!
Don't hit the baby.
Wait, is she holding the baby, or is it the little sidling dude holding?
Oh,
the baby?
she's got the baby.
So 19 force damage to her. And then... oh, I guess I should tell you what it was. It was an 18 to hit.
Okay, that does hit.
And then for the little underling guy, a 13.
13 does hit.
Okay. Please don't fall away again. Okay, good. 9, 12, 13, so 15. What kind of damage is that? 6. Poison damage to the Curator.
Well, he does not seem to have any, resistance to the poison damage, so he just kind of like, squawks and falls over. Does that end your turn?
No, because I quicken casted that, so it was a bonus action.
Okay.
I'm going to attack. And then use Tides of Chaos again, so that I don't have disadvantage.
Alright.
Crap. Doesn't matter, I missed.
Alright. So she is looking really ragged. You could see that she is significantly slower, with the battering that you guys have given her over the course of the last, 12 seconds. She reaches up, and you see that around her neck she has a necklace, that there is a stone. She grabs the stone. It's like, you want the child? Take it. And she throws the child at you, Bolgath.
I go, what?
You-
Out of the way of the child.
Oh my god! You were so lucky we're underwater.
So
Can I use a key point now and react to catch it?
absolutely, no roll,
Key point and dash.
no roll necessary. So as you guys focus on the child, you see her form, they become see-through, and she steps into the wall.
Can I counter spell that?
Nope. So off to the right, she just, heads straight through the wall and is out of sight as she's moved through stone.
I got you, little guy. I'm not gonna let the hag lady turn you into breakfast.
I'm gonna look at the underling that I presume is still here.
He's dead and he's been poisoned, but he's there.
dead.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Are all these bones that she was standing on, are they infant bones?
No.
Oh, okay, so she maybe isn't actually destroying all these children.
This is like her room, right? She's gotta come back here eventually.
Can I look around with my fancy new advantage on perception checks? See if I notice anything cool.
Let's see here. So do you want to look through the bones and stuff?
Yeah, just see if there's anything to take from her.
If you push down, you find a cup that seems to be carved from sea coral.
Okay, I will. Hey, does this look like anything? Oh wait, I'm the guy that would know that kind of thing. Does it look like it's valuable, like an art object?
It's definitely nice.
Cool. Does anyone want this? No? Okay. I put it in my bag.
So do you wish to keep digging?
Yeah, until they say let's go follow her, I'll.
Yeah,
just
how
keep looking
about
around.
one of us checks on Parthis? Like,
I totally forgot about part of this.
I got a baby.
I know. I just put in the chat. I'm like, am I dead? Why are you trying to fix me?
You're at 0. You're not down. You're not suffering. You just.
I don't
You're
have
right.
anything healy, so.
Ironically,
you
I'm
know.
the one that had the healing through the headdress.
I'm singing a lullaby to this baby, making sure that it's comforted.
Osmond, do you have any potions or anything? Can you do anything healy?
Can I make a death saving throw and start doing that to see if I can recover on my own?
I don't know. Let me check my pockets.
We just have to wait for you to wake up in an hour with one
Right.
hit point.
I do not know if I got any healing potions. I
Let me
don't.
see if I have any in my bag.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't.
So, the other fish people here don't seem that keen on hurting us. We have got as long as we need down here. We could just rest in this room, and if she comes back, blast her.
If you take a short rest, I'd allow you to spend a hit die or spend hit dice, Parthis, because you're not.
Time for that. And I'm ready to one arm. I got a baby in one arm, and I got my fingers ready for some ray gun shooting.
Pew pew.
I'm gonna perch myself somewhere and watch where she went through the door, ready to, and I've got Snow watching the other wall behind us, and with our combined peripheral vision, we should be vigilant enough.
So I don't have to roll death saves.
No, you weren't
Okay.
you weren't below 0. You were stabilized and down.
Okay. Because I just, out of curiosity, I rolled a d20 3 times and they were all under 10.
Oh, jeez.
I've never done that before.
So while they're taking a short rest, did I find anything else cool? In that minute?
You did.
Nice.
So you find like all the way down at the bottom of the pile. You don't know why it would be cast off. It's a foot tall statue of an octopus carved from black volcanic glass. Amazingly detailed, the statue's tentacles extend up around its bulbous body to hold above it a deep red, translucent glass bowl.
Nice.
Arcane recovery, that's important.
That's something I want in real life, Ted. Can you make me one?
No, I do not have much in the way of stone carving, nor do I have a lot of access to black volcanic glass.
It's worth a shot.
Nor, I'd probably. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I spent all 5 of my hit dice and I'm only at 75% of my health.
You did add your con bonus for each one, right?
I did. I rolled a couple of 2s in there.
We really should pick up some potions or maybe a cleric or something.
Probably not a bad idea, but not something we can do while we're underwater. If we leave, we're not coming back. We need to take care of her before we go.
I'm making fish faces at the baby.
I don't know what happened, but
Is that
where did she go?
How is the baby breathing?
That way. It has
It
gills.
has gills.
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
Osland, why do you have the baby?
Because
he's
he's a dad, that's what he does.
Look at his little web toesies. Look at him.
Do we have a bag of holding we can put that in?
That's not how you treat a living thing, Volga.
Yeah, we are definitely going to hand that baby off to somebody before we leave for real, though, because I don't think we...
I'm untying the rope from myself, and I toss it to Osland to tie onto the baby. So I can drag it behind us like a balloon.
It fits in one arm, dude.
You guys are ridiculous, and
But
I
there's
think...
a reason why none of you have been fathers.
Yes, because I'm careful and my pull-out gang is strong. Now let's go. Game, not gang. Anyway, I walk.
Dante, I still worry about you and this wolf. Have you fed it recently?
Yes, I fed it the entire time we were traveling until we got here. That is why it's still with us.
I mean, taking on an animal is a big responsibility.
Yes, I know, and he chose me for a reason. His name is Snow, and I took care of the hounds at my house before I got in trouble and had to leave. Now let's go. I think we have bigger fish to fry. Quite literally, I walk.
What you
So-
in trouble for, Dante?
So the wolf looks at Ozil and it's like, "Don't you remember meeting me? Do you really?" It absolutely is.
Do I know it talks? This is the first time I've heard it talk.
Probably.
You might not have
You're
been.
invisible, which
you-
means you're also deaf.
You might not have been paying attention when he
I
was speaking
also
before.
gone from... Okay, yeah, what sales? What? Whoa! You talk?
Not
Who's
all.
mom?
Not
What do
all
you do?
wolves. Not all wolves are stupid.
Well, I mean, an inability to talk doesn't make you stupid. It's a thing amongst many animal species. They don't talk. They don't have the vocal cords to do that.
Well,
But-
Most wolves don't blow cones of cold either.
That's true. That's true. They don't have the whatever wolves need to do that. Parthus, you know. What do you need to blow a cold out of your mouth?
What?
My understanding of biology doesn't stretch that far.
So, the door beside the door that we came in this time, the one like that's on the side that she walked through the wall of, like that's where I'm going.
all right. So make a investigation check.
Does anyone want to assist me?
I will do
will.
that
Okay.
because I actually have a pretty decent investigation.
Maybe I should assist you
Maybe. Let's
because
do
I
that.
don't.
Well, maybe you shouldn't investigate me or assist me because I rolled a 1, but I didn't roll the damage. Duh. I'm a smart person. I have a 17 in total.
All right. So where she stepped through the wall, I mean, even though she was, you know, ethereal or whatever you want to call it, you know, there does appear to be a hidden doorway that you could be able to follow.
All right. Well, I'll push that doorway open and say, "Hey, we've got a path."
All right, let's go. Maybe Oslin should hold a baby more often. It makes him more likely to see things.
It's like it makes me more present. It
Shoot
seems
your
like
dad eyes.
when I don't have a baby around, I'm very invisible.
Like you lose the eyes in the back of your head.
I go, oh, it's gone.
I was just thinking about that one.
So as you step step through the tunnel, the passage begins to climb up, and as you're going, you see eventually that there is indeed the surface of the water. Do you push through and step into the air, or do you not?
I don't want to lose the bubble around my head. We'd be in real trouble. Do we have more bubbles, or did we just have enough to get down here?
You had enough to be down here.
I'm gonna bump it at Bulgath, spending more time playing with the baby than actually watching where I'm going, and then just look up and go, "Why have we stopped?"
We're in a conundrum.
Yeah.
The witch isn't
I don't know what
dead.
that word means. I just...
The witch isn't dead and the curse isn't over.
Bulgat, how big is your bowl?
This big. I put it over my head. I have no idea.
Okay, so fill that with water, and then put your head in the bowl, and go on over, and then throw it back.
Okay.
Will that work?
What
See, I try it.
what is he doing?
The bowl that I found.
Yes, the bowl, the art object that he found, he's gonna fill it with water and stick his head in there, and then go over, and then throw it back.
It's
So-
already full of water. 'Cause
All
we're
right.
underwater.
So you have a cup, like a cup made of coral, and then you have the bowl. It's more like a bowl like this, not like a cauldron. That would
I don't care.
Oh,
She told me
okay,
to do
well,
it, I'm doing it.
No, never mind. If it's not that big, then
Too late. It's already done.
Oh.
So the dwarf has this red glass and volcanic octopus upside down on his head, wearing it like a very bizarre helmet. And to any of you who might be concerned with finances, it looks pretty nice. He might not want to be doing that if he steps into the air, because it's going to fall off.
I don't think that he would be holding it like that anyway, because the water's gonna fall out of it. Like, I meant hold it like this and put your head in there and walk, like...
Yeah. I don't want to damage it either, because I want it.
Given that Bolgath is tied to me, I'm just...
No, I'm not.
Oh, you untied yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me the rope for the baby. Which I didn't use, thank you very much.
That's not my problem. I untied myself and gave it to you to use.
Oh.
How were you able to make it up to this, thing? I thought you were, too busy not being able to swim.
I wasn't swimming. I was climbing.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's an answer to the question, so it works.
I'm in the open air, then, I guess.
All right, so you step into the open air, and the stale air pocket of the tunnel smells of fish and earth. First time that you're actually, getting scent since you began your voyage underground. Dark water laps against the stone, weathering it with the passage of years. The shadows play along the rough rock face, cast by the light source. The water is bitterly cold, but now as the passage opens with air above, the water begins to warm slightly, making it more bearable.
You still have a bubble?
You don't see a bubble.
I stick my head back under the water to look at them.
Okay, you can acknowledge the bubble is still there.
Okay,
The bubble's still here. Let's go.
Alright, let's go. I'm in.
Crap, I guess that means I'm in front now. Start
He's
walking.
got the cutest baby
gonna be
toes.
So
You could be able to breathe out of the water? Yes, you are.
So all of you are to some degree magic, yes?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Make an Arcana check.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Watch Bolgath get the highest, just accidental Arcana knowledge.
12.
0.
19.
Parthas?
0.
Sorry, hold on. 19. I'm distracted by my baby, so I rolled at disadvantage.
Okay, but you still have a
My
19.
disadvantage roll was higher.
That baby's distracting everybody. What am I rolling?
Arcana.
Oh, Arcana. Good God, man. I'm about to retire this die. Yeah, I don't know nothing. That's 6.
Alright, so Oslin, you're pretty certain that magic cast in, this area is going to be more potent.
I'm just tickling this baby belly. They just look up at everyone and go, if we cast spells, they're going to be probably a little bit stronger. Just so you know.
Which means her spells will be stronger too, so be careful.
I wave my hand in front of my nose. Go, man, did the baby cast gas cloud?
I mean, if it had a diaper, could be
So,
shield against that. But...
the tunnel opens into a cavern with 5 converging springs that run together to form a central pool. In the air above the springs, 6 large rocks slowly turn in midair, as if swirled about by a spectral force. In the center of the pool stands a pedestal crafted of black volcanic rock worn smooth. A fist-sized glowing blue stone, swirling with shadow and light, levitates inches above the pedestal.
Good thing I'm in front, because I take it.
It's it's up at the top of, this cliff face, and standing in between you and that, the hag stands stooped over, clutching another mewling babe to her chest. Her hair hangs in wet green strings around her greenish-sharp featured face. She turns baleful dark eyes on you and your companions. Mine, she hisses. a hideous voice sounding like the gasp of a drowning man. She runs her sharp, dark fingernails lightly along this child's face and down to its now functioning gills, scarring its neck. All mine. As you see the hair on the child begin to change more like hers.
I'm gonna look at her and just go, nope. I'm gonna point a finger at her. She knows what's coming.
Do we need to roll initiative again, or do we keep the same order?
Let's go.
I think we all know what's happening here.
Let's go ahead and reroll.
All right.
19 this
A little
time.
bit higher.
Hold on, I'm rolling a completely different die. Come on. 4.
We got a 4 for Parthas. What do we got for Oslin and Bolgath?
Gonna laser monkey in the face.
All right. Oslin, Bolgath, what do you have?
Minus a 15.
And Bolgath 13.
All right, Dante, what are you doing?
Magic missile, level 1, 9 damage.
All right, bump that up to level 2.
Woo! Hold on, I need to roll another d4. 14 damage.
All right, you do see that she's got wounds from her previous fight. You've seen sword slashes, warhammer blasts, as well as the sheer amount of magic. But just as you rested and were able to recover, it does appear that she has as well. So as she begins, moving about, you do see a large creature, humanoid from the waist up, but a kind of fish-like head with 4 arms, but its lower body is entirely that of a squid or an octopus, as it comes out from the rock behind her, and it begins moving to intercept the group.
Is this what you do to these children?
So let's see here.
I know it's my turn or not, but I'm not talking to her.
That's fine. All right. So we said Bolgath was the one that was up front.
Yep.
That's not good. Wow. All right. Well, the 2 natural ones. A bite and a claw, bounce on against. But its other claw comes in at you for a 26. I'm going to guess that one still hits.
That will still hit even through my shield. And
Ooh.
I'm assuming you want me to roll Tides of Chaos to recharge it?
Oh, yes. Not roll your surge.
Or that's what I meant, yeah.
But I happen to roll, max damage. The claw did 18 points.
18. Oh, ow! I dropped my pen. Alright, 18. And then what is that?
And his long tentacle actually reaches around behind you, hitting a 25 on Dante.
Yeah, that hits.
And
for my surge, for the next minute, you regain 5 hit points at the start of each of your turns.
Who does?
I do.
Oh, wow. So you take 12 points of damage, Dante.
Got it.
And then what is she gonna do?
Hopefully respond to my question.
she gives you a look and says, "Mayhaps," and she begins stepping back behind the stone face.
Is she obscured?
Yes.
Should be my turn.
Yeah, she is.
Alright. I'm gonna move. Let's see. This guy, is this octopus guy? Is he between me and her in a way that if I moved around this the thing she's hiding behind, that he's going to be able to get an attack of opportunity against me?
You think he covers a lot of area with those tentacles?
All right. Then I suppose I could be disengaging, couldn't I? Would that allow me to get through him without an attack of opportunity?
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna key point to disengage.
Okay.
And move around so I can get a clear shot on her.
All right.
Still holding my finger out. Line of sight on her.
Yes.
When I do, I'll just like turn my hand palm up and just launch magic missile at her. So if it's level 2 like Megan's was, it'll be 12 damage.
All right, 12.
And I think that was my last key point.
All right, so you use the first level spell slot.
I did.
Okay. So for just to make it easier, if you use a spell, it is automatically bumped one level higher.
Yeah. That was the assumption I made.
After Oslin is Bolgath.
All right. So am I able to move so that she's not behind any kind of cover?
You've got a giant squid fish creature in between you and where she is. If you want to, if you want to go charging after her, you can do so, but you're definitely getting an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Can I move so that she's not behind cover and still be engaged?
No.
Or was that not? Okay. Well, then I'll just take an attack of opportunity because I'm going for her. I don't care about the squid.
All right. All right. Well, he's going to miss.
Okay. And then I'm going to use Tides of Chaos to get advantage on this level 3 Chaos Bolt. 14?
14 is going to miss.
Bye, level 3 Chaos Bolt.
Blah, 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 blah.
That's it.
All right, Parthas.
Unless you need me to roll a surge again.
I mean, you already have an active surge, don't you?
Yeah. It's up to you.
We're good. We'll wait for the next one.
So we've got the hag that already killed me once.
Uh-huh.
And there's a weird 4-armed fish-headed squid thing.
It's a marrow abomination. It's like a, Sahagan, type fish creature from the waist up with 4 arms and big, sharp, nasty, pointy teeth. But then from the waist down, it's got 8 tentacles.
At this point, I want to keep my distance. I'm reluctant to even look at this hag. So I'm going for the abomination.
Go for it.
And I'm going to swing at it twice with vengeance. These are just straight rolls now, right?
Yes, you are in the air.
Would a 15 have hit, Ted?
15 have hit her?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
First one is a 12, and the second one is the 21. Or no, good lord, that's not right.
Well,
First one is a 15, and the second one is a dirty 20. I can't math.
Okay, they both hit.
Oh, good.
I didn't change my proficiency bonus, so it was still +5 instead of +6.
Ah, man. What are you doing?
The first one is 7.
All right.
And the second is 12, so 19. And if it matters, this is a magical weapon.
All right, so what is your total?
What did I just say?
I heard 9 on the first one.
It was 7 on the first one and 12 on the second.
All right, so 19.
So 19 total.
All right. Is that all you got?
This thing's pretty big.
Yes. And that was the first damage it took.
And I'm going to, let's see, this lasts for...
I will also remind you that in my games, Dragonborn's Breath Weapon is a bonus action.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if I want to breathe on it or if I want to Shield of Faith myself.
This game is weird.
Right. You know what? I think I will use that breath weapon, so it's going to have to make a DC 13 dex save.
You angle it to hit me, too.
It will fail.
So it's going to take 6 lightning damage.
Another 6.
Catch the dwarf so he can get his absorb elements.
Is it possible from where he is to hit me with that, too?
It's a 5 by 30-foot line.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't be a problem.
So if you definitely wanted to be hit.
I do want to be hit.
See Bolgath just kind of like sticking his head in the way of it. Just kind of like leaning, like a batter leaning into a pitch.
That was a deck save?
Yeah.
Can you willingly choose to just fail a save?
Well, I don't have to. Like, it's not save or suck. It's take half damage, right?
Right.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I probably failed anyway on a dex because that's only an 8.
Yeah,
But then absorb elements gives me resistance to it.
So
So
you
how much
take
damage was that?
so you take 3.
Okay.
So I kind of see Bolgath stumble into it. Like it wasn't his choice, but it just kind of happened.
And then my warhammer's crackling with electric energy.
All right.
I found my baby, my prop for my baby.
That brings us to Dante.
There's one weird looking baby.
All right.
It's probably more normal looking than the one I'm holding.
So, magic missile. And if the effect from last round continues, that's going to be 13 damage. The marrow in front of me because I assume I no longer see what's her face.
All right, so you're doing it to the abomination.
Yeah. Unless I can see the hag.
Uh,
I
she's
don't think I can.
she's behind the rocks, trying to not
Yeah.
be seen.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right. Blah 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 blah. So let's see here. Did you move at all, Dante?
No.
All right. So he reaches out with a tentacle and smacks you for 13.
All right.
He again comes at Bolgath with a bite and misses horribly.
I'm glad I was muted then, because I yelled shield, but you didn't hear it. Oh wait, I used my reaction anyway. Never
You
mind.
did.
Couldn't have done it.
So then he does land 2 claws on you, though. A 16 and a 21.
I cannot take another hit like that.
Well, then I recommend beating down the marrow creature.
For real.
How bad is Bolgath looking?
Bolgath looks pretty good. Roughly 50%.
Exactly. Well, I think you might be on the ground, sir.
Nonsense.
So he hits you with 2 claws.
I cast Dwarven Stubbornness.
He hits you with 2 claws for 25 points of damage.
Oh yeah, I'm down. So, since wild magic does not require concentration and it lasts for the full duration,
Mhm.
it's my turn again. Instead of making a death save, do I just regain those 5 hit points?
Yes.
Perfect.
It doesn't say, as per this spell that you concentrate on. It just says this effect happens, right?
Yep, at the beginning of each turn for a minute, I gain 5 hit points.
Well, there you
It
go.
also doesn't say anything about it going away at 0 hit points. So.
Correct.
So I have to, you know, do it as per what it says. Oswald, you're up.
All right. So she's still just there chilling.
You currently do not see her.
Oh, I was able to get behind the squid creature. Remember? And,
Yes, but you
disengage.
currently do not see her.
Oh, okay. Even after I hit her with the
Correct.
spell. All right.
You can go after squid creature, or you could go investigate.
I'm gonna go and investigate and see where are you going, you coward.
Give me a perception roll.
That was not a great one. Perception or investigate?
Perception.
Couldn't really investigate. That's I'm gonna go ahead and use my inspiration to roll with a different dice, not that one.
Okay.
And I rolled the exact same thing. It's a 7.
Well, sometimes the dice just know.
Right.
That's been an age-old expression that what's now referred to as the Nerdarchy group. We've just always sometimes doesn't matter what you say you're doing, the dice know what they want to happen.
Right. And they don't want me to see shit.
So, Bulgath, you are on the ground with 5 hit points.
All right. I would like to.
Rage. No.
Yeah, I'd like to misty step into the fray.
Well, you're
What?
you're gonna misty step to stand up.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing it. It just happens.
Do you
step in the air and just like drop?
do you wish?
Yeah, and I end up on top of the squid.
Do you want me to have you surge?
That's up to you, man.
All right, go
Just
for it.
give my Tides of Chaos back.
Give your Tides of Chaos back, but it absolutely has a chance of fireballing your party.
Uh-oh, what's a 4?
Fireball!
For the next minute, you can see any invisible creature if you have line of sight to it.
Oh my god, that's so good!
Is she invisible?
You don't know. You currently don't see her.
Okay, good. I smacked the doohickey, whatever that fishy thing is. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, wait, I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos. Because I want to use my stupid... Oh, I had to concentrate on Absorb Element, so that's gone anyway. Never mind, I won't use it.
All right, what armor class did you hit?
11.
Okay. And you did your math correctly?
Yeah, I changed it.
All right. Then
I
we.
wouldn't waste a level 3 slot next time.
All right.
I don't have any more anyway.
Then we are up to Parthas.
How bad are you looking, Dante?
I am 8 out of 33.
So gamist. They say you look like crap.
I'm going to...
On a scale of 1 to 33, I'm looking like I'm at about an 8.
Nice.
It's a very specific rubric you have there, Dante.
I'm going to draw on the power of the headdress I'm wearing.
Not the power of the babe?
I imagine it's channeled through the babe with the power. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 6th level.
Holy
crap. That's what the headdress does. It goes at 6th level.
So
I can only do it once a day.
So
means
that's 7 die 8 because the magic in the area.
It's getting boosted.
It's magic.
Wow.
All right, so 7 die 8 plus.
I would imagine your wisdom modifier.
I think that's what it is. Just flip the page. Is it Wiz?
Yeah.
Spellcasting.
I would go with wisdom. It's
Wisdom is lower than my spellcasting modifier.
Well, then use your spellcasting modifier then. I'll be generous.
It does say spellcasting modifier.
Oh, well, then there you go.
All right, so that's going to be big for you, Dante. I hope enough several all ones.
Thank you, sweet Parthas.
8, 15, 21, 31.
She's fine. She's full.
32, 37, 42. I just wanted to see how high it actually went as the headdress just kind of
I jump in the way of the healing thing and get absorb elements.
I imagine my eyes just sort of roll back in my head, and in Draconic, I begin chanting, and this healing energy comes out of this headdress right at you and just buffs you all the way back up.
This is why you're my favorite. Don't tell the others. I say right in front of them.
You speak Draconic. You could have said that Draconic.
Oh, yeah.
But I like that you didn't. I like that you said it. And that's an action, I believe, to do that. So, it doesn't say, but I assume it's an action.
I mean, you're casting the spell, and the spell's an action, so yeah.
Yeah. So, just as a precaution, as a bonus action, I can't because it's from the headdress. I was going to do something else, but that's a headdress to be featured. So, let's see. You know what? I'm going to cast this. Nope, never mind. I'm done.
All right, Dante, you're up.
Can I magic missile the rock?
No. Magic missile must target a living creature.
Okay. I was just curious.
That is one of the
I still
stipulations.
have magic missiles left, and we still have something that we really need to kill, so I'm gonna go ahead and cast magic missile on the marrow, because that thing is kind of kicking our butts right now.
Yeah, it's pretty beefy.
Yeah, that's gonna be 15 damage.
I did not like that at all.
No, I didn't think so.
I'm trying
Jerk.
the math. That's...
Oh, I totally could have action surged.
Next round. All right.
Well, now you know.
Megan, I'm disappointed you didn't take the opportunity to argue that the rock is a living creature.
Well, the rock might be a living creature, but it's not within range. So.
That baby is
got
giving
me.
you like +2 to your dad joke.
Hashtag D and Dad joke.
All right, so it this creature did not like that Parthus made its play toy stand back up. So he just smacked you with a tentacle for 18 points of damage.
Come at me, bro. Hold on. It hit me for 18.
Yes, sir. AC 25.
All right, I'll take the 18. I'll take you 18 points of damage.
And raise you what?
And as a reaction, because I'm